I'm here with Eleanor. Eleanor is our wonderful friend who's a very talented acupuncturist and we're going to be offering some Yin and Pin soon, which is really exciting.
Yeah, very exciting.
Very exciting indeed. So, Eleanor, tell us a little bit about yourself and a bit about what got you into acupuncture, and then we can find out what acupuncture really is as well, why it's so good for us.
Yeah. So I was a little bit lucky. I got drawn into the acupuncture world. I didn't have to choose it. I felt like it chose me. There was a school in New Brighton before the earthquakes, and I happened to be walking past one day and walked in the doors and had a lovely, strong intuition that was my career, and so then I continued.
There you go. And so how long have you been doing it for?
Maybe 10 years, I think, roughly.
Wow.
Yeah, I have to keep adding a year on as the year flies by.
I know, and they've been going so fast,
That's
haven't
right.
they?
Yeah.
I know. That's so cool. That's really cool. I love that acupuncture found you and it drew you in. Like, yeah, that's, I kind of feel like, because I mean, I'm not an acupuncturist, but that's definitely a very important healing modality in my life. And I feel the same way. I feel like acupuncture found me. It's like,
Oh, lovely.
yeah, it's got this, it knows when you need it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think many things find us if we can be open to how we feel when something comes into our space.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, intuition's so powerful, isn't it? Yeah. So, what is acupuncturist? Because there's probably a whole lot of people who know a little bit about yoga because that's why they listen to us, and then have no idea about acupuncture. So what is it?
Well, it's definitely not, oh my goodness, the needles, that must be so terrible. It's a really lovely, very old, whole body healing modality. We know it probably best in New Zealand for how it affects us in a musculoskeletal way, because you can use acupuncture and ACC, and it's really good for that, but also we can use it to have an effect on our hormonal body, on our central nervous system, and maybe on our energetic body as well, that your yoga people will be already familiar with.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think from a yoga perspective, we've got 5 layers of the body, right? And so this physical body is like the densest layer.
Yeah, right.
So, and I'm guessing acupuncture would have the same kind of...
Yeah, there's lots of different overlaps between the Eastern philosophies of the body and wellness, and we do have different densities of being.
Yep, that's exactly what we call it.
We call it chi and blood, maybe.
Yeah.
So chi would be the more energetic, and then the blood is the more physical. The yin and the yang, similar.
Oh, fantastic. And that's so funny that you said like yoga is definitely not scary because of the needles, because I remember, did I say yoga is not scary? Acupuncture is not scary.
I know,
I remember that was my biggest block.
Yeah.
I was so, because I actually, I faint, like I was a fainter, so people would come at me with a needle to give me an injection.
Come at me.
And I was passed out, but there was obviously something inside of me that knew that the acupuncture needles weren't going to hurt me, but it was a huge block.
Yeah, it's probably what I hear the most, and unfortunately I think it is a huge block and it stops people from using it. It's a shame. So the needles are, I show my patients what they look like. Sometimes I wonder if that helps or not, but they're more like a piece of wire, so they're so thin and they just have a pointy end, and most of our nerve endings are on the superficial layers of our skin. So if you can get this pointy end of this tiny wire very quickly through those nerve endings, you don't really notice too much.
No, you don't.
But it still has it still accesses the deeper nerves, and then that still has an effect on your brain and body.
It's so fantastic. It's I think there's been, sometimes I've noticed when the needle's gone in that I'll get like a little bit of a jolt of like electricity or energy or whatever, and it's like, ooh, I'm alive.
They can be somewhat intense, and I think if you feel a little bit nervous about acupuncture, that can be a bit intimidating, but that's something I say, Well, these are the different sensations you may experience. None of them mean that there's any damage or trauma to your body. They're just the nervous system picking up on the needle.
Yeah, absolutely.
And after, you might get a sensation like that, but within a couple of minutes it dies off and you don't feel anything again.
Yeah, exactly. But there's this amazing thing that's happening, and I think the beauty of combining an acupuncture session with a yin yoga session and yoga nidra, which is what we're planning to do in our yin and pins that are coming up, and we're so excited about those, is that the participants will be so relaxed by the time you're coming around with the needles that, you know, there won't be an ability to be all like, you know, tense up.
Yeah, I mean, if it's your first time, you might be slightly apprehensive, but you'll definitely have paved the way for an amazing acupuncture treatment.
Absolutely, the system will just be like, oh, lapping this up. So tell us about the points, because obviously when someone comes to an acupuncture one-on-one personalised session, which I highly recommend, you do a very thorough kind of assessment of where they're at and what they need. But coming to a yin and pin session, it's more actually we're going to hit the key points in the body that we know will nourish everybody in some way.
That's right. So they are regulatory points. So they have a function where they will either, so depending on where you are, they will balance you. So that's a regulating action. So if you're feeling anxious, they will bring you down, and if you're feeling depressed, then they might bring you up. And also they're, you know, you don't have to remove any clothes. They're all very accessible.
And I had someone say, what about, will we go near the belly? And I was like, no, I don't think the points are anywhere near the belly. Like, yes, if you're having a one-on-one session, I get points in my belly, but not in a yin and pin class.
You don't need to. A lot, so hands and feet are heavily, densely populated by nerve endings, so they're really powerful points. This is where a lot of chi is, hands and feet, and the head. So we can access a lot of the body's energy without getting to the, you know, abdomen.
Absolutely. And that, if you've heard about reflexology, like the feet are amazing in terms of all the little, you know, see the pictures and it's like, here's your lung and here's your whatever. So you're right, everything, like the nerve endings in the feet and the hands are pretty.
And then the head, a lot of people, when there's some beautiful calming points all through the head and the face, but I think that feels a little scary sometimes for people because it's so close. This is where we kind of experience our reality. But the head's the safest place you can needle. There's a big bone under there, so it's very safe.
And there's the point whenever whenever I go to acupuncturist, like right at the top of the head in the crown, which, you know, in yoga also is quite an important part when we do headstand, which they say we should do headstand every day to be stimulating the pineal and the pituitary glands, which are quite close together anyway. And they create a whole lot of really important hormones for regulation and sleep and biorhythms. But I'm talking a lot about the acupuncturist puts the needle in the top of the head, and it's almost like I'm like, vroom.
That's exactly what it's like. And that's what I hear every time.
It's like whoosh off to another planet,
the land of the pixies.
Exactly. And it's just so amazing and so nourishing. But it's something though that it's not a one-off, is it? Like, you have to kind of commit to a regular treatment, don't you?
You can come once, but you will always get better results if you commit to something regular in your life that's good for you. That's what we say all the time. And we all know it. You don't go to the gym once to lose weight. You know, you don't take, you know, one pill to have an effect. So
exactly. You don't stop eating chocolate for one day.
We do sometimes.
That's probably the one thing that it's like, oh, there's the chocolate again. But it is far better, which is why we've designed these yin and pin in terms of once a month, coming and getting your treatment in terms of calming the nervous system through the yin. And we design, because yin is also an Eastern kind of modality of yoga. I mean, obviously all yoga is Eastern, but the yin part is feeding more into the acupuncture. So the poses that we do in the Yin will support the theme for the pose for the whole series. So the de-stress and detox, which is our spring series, will all be about kind of detoxing the internal organs, and then you'll come in afterwards and say, here's an extra boost of Jojo. I think you call it Chi though, right?
Chi and Jojo.
I know, but just an extra boost of like supporting the system to really settle.
Yeah.
And then having that on a regular basis really helps.
Yeah. And I think it is that thing where if you choose to have it on a regular basis, you will notice it then. You will enjoy a session, but when you start to bring these things in regularly in a subtle way, you feel so much, the harmony comes into your life.
Yeah. Go harmony. We love harmony, right? Well, I think that's the thing. We're all living so stressed out. That actually take the time and do something that's going to de-stress you and detox you is so phenomenal.
And it's tricky because I think with stress and the cortisol levels, there comes a feeling of compulsion where we're like, we just need to keep going, we just need to keep surviving this, but really what we need to do is try and step out of the survival, and sometimes it's really challenging. But we've got a great class for that.
We have. And beyond the Yin and Pin, because this was your idea, let's create the Yin and Pin, but beyond the Yin and Pin, what is your offering? What are the people, who are the best people to come and see you, and how do they get in contact with you?
I like all people.
Yes.
I really don't. I love working with muscular and with women and with men. I don't work with many children. And how would you find me? Oh, you can find me at the House of Acupuncture.
Perfect. So she's got a Facebook page and a website, so
thehouseofacupuncture.co.nz.
Nice. Perfect. And musculoskeletal, so you mentioned ACC, so basically if someone's had an injury, they can come to you and have it supported by ACC
that's correct. And it's really very supportive for all types of recovery. For broken bones, torn muscles, stiff necks, whatever you find yourself claiming an ACC injury claim for. And it's there's a little charge on the end, but most of that is supported by ACC.
So good. Aren't we so lucky that we have a system called ACC?
Think so. Definitely we are lucky.
We are very blessed in New Zealand for ACC. So if you've got musculoskeletal injuries, I know the reason that I started going to acupuncture was because of female health problems, actually. So significant pain during period, etc. So and that's something you can help with as well.
Women's health, digestive, mental health, even we through that stress and nervous system support, and chronic pain is another really great one.
Chronic fatigue.
I mean, the thing about acupuncture is that it's been designed as a whole body of medicine. It's not there's evidence to support some of it, and there's less to support other areas, but people walk in with some very interesting complaints, and there's always an acupuncture point. So it's really about just going, hey, what do you think acupuncture could do for this? But we do, as a generalist, cover all areas of health.
Nice. And the side effects, right? So I worked in public relations in Sydney for a while, and we would promote pills, which I think there's nothing wrong with people taking pharmaceutical pills if that's what the body needs and that's what they need as an immediate intervention. But I remember, some of the side effects, we would be like, oh goodness, that's quite a serious side effect to be taking for that.
So we definitely need pharmaceuticals in acute and very serious conditions. And then in the rest of our health, it's really great to, go with the least invasive options first. So we change our diet, we do some exercise, we do the yoga, and then we try some massage or other therapies that can support the body, and then, you know, all else fails, then we start pulling out the bigger guns. They should be not the first port of call if we can help it.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, the side of, you know, you don't actually get any side effects other than feeling better. Like, you know, that's what I find.
Yeah.
That's the worst side effect, which is a great one. And interesting with mental health, my we had my children lost a very close friend to suicide a couple of years ago, and my daughter hit a real low, and we went to acupuncture.
Oh,
Yeah, that was the.
That's great.
Yeah, that's what supported her.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, so that, and then when she got a bit stronger, we went to counselling.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
she went to counselling.
Yeah, that's a really good point,
Yeah.
isn't it? Sometimes we can just support the body, and then you can bring in the mind, because you do need to be buffered by your physical health sometimes to be able to cope.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever's going on for you, like you said, there's an acupuncture point for it, like whatever it might be, and it could be that you've been to doctors and said, I've got this thing, and they're baffled and they don't know how to help you, because I know that was my experience when I found acupuncture. I was starting to feel like there was something really wrong with me, because I was going to see specialists and they were doing all these invasive technology things and going, there's actually nothing wrong with you, but I was like, actually there
My
totally is.
experiences. Yeah, there's an issue with my experience. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was an acupuncturist around the corner, and
Cool.
boom, here I am today. So
Oh, that's great.
yeah, so I really encourage people, give it a go. If you're nervous, come along to the Yin and Pin, because Audrey, myself and Ellie will be there. So you'll have 3 loving, nurturing souls there to support you through the process, as well as 10 other people.
You will not be alone.
You will not be alone. And then you never know, you might just really fall in love.
Yeah. And you know, if it's challenging, I'm going to be in the room the whole time, so
Yeah.
there'll be someone able.
Yeah, and we'll be doing a body scan and a yoga nidra while the needles are in, so that will help in terms of actually just getting your mind completely distracted, so that you can get out of the way of your body's natural ability to heal itself.
Yeah. How blissful.
Exactly. And if you don't know what Yoga Nidra is yogic sleep, basically. It's a guided meditation, and normally there's a little bit of an intention, and our intention will be to detox and de-stress for the next 3 workshops. That's our focus, is detox and de-stress. We are coming into the silly season, right? And you do a lot of toxing.
Yeah, that's true. Clear it up before we get there.
Exactly. And it can get quite stressful. So a wonderful way to kind of prevent significant problems. Awesome. Well, I'm really looking forward to our Yin and Pin.
Same.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And hope to see you there. We're really excited. This is our first live workshop. Woo!
Yeah.
Awesome. Get in contact with Ellie. thehouseofacupuncture.co.nz. Find her on Facebook. If you want to learn anything more about our Yin and Pin series, they are on our Yoga to Transform Facebook page as an event. And it's also on our website as well, so that you can kind of click through and make the booking. And if you come with a friend, it's $99, which is basically $10 off each person. And if you want to book for the whole 3 workshops, it's only $149, which is $10 off each workshop as well, which is super great in terms of value. So just send us an email at care@yogatotransform.com, and we'll get you sorted with those special discounts as well.
Fabulous.
Awesome. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you live in person soon. Namaste.
Bye.
Bye.